What does Coach Walsh mean to you?
Coach Walsh means hard work, dedication, and good times. Every preseason that I've ever been on the varsity soccer team has been hard work for a week straight. There's double sessions, a ton of fitness, and it's all really, really hard work, but I think that's one of the reasons that we've always been so successful. He had scouted all of the players. He wrote up this whole entire booklet for us. He says he stays up at night because he can't sleep because of thinking about Waverly, and he had a nightmare that we lost. He is a really fun guy.
He's like a really good role model to me. He pushes everyone to do their best.
I personally think he's the best soccer coach I've ever had. He cares so much about everyone on the team, and he has a huge heart.
Coach Walsh is like a really good coach that supports you like on and off the field.
He's always been there for me, and he's one of the people that I can always talk to about anything. I got concussions all the time during the season. He's like, you always know, like you know what to do, like just call me. And I'm like, okay. He's like thinks about my future and how I am, and he cares about everyone. Like his heart is huge for you, and like that's what I love about him.
Coach Walsh has influenced me a lot throughout the years. He's taught me a lot on and off the field, and he made my soccer experience at Forks something to remember.
Coach Walsh, well, he means family to me, and hard work, and most of all perseverance. He's like a second dad to me. No matter what, if we would dive into a black hole of just random conversations, he'd be like, come on, let's go. He would push me to do my best, and he made me a really good player.
Coach Walsh was a really dedicated and supportive coach to all of us. A really important time to be able to play on such a great team.
Coach Walsh is definitely one of the most dedicated coaches I've ever had. Every game, every practice, he always was encouraging us to do our best, and I think without him we would not have made it as far as we did both years.
So Coach Walsh always cared more than I think any one of us did, but he always put us first and wanted us to do our best physically and mentally. He would make sure you're okay or happy, or if like we're having an off day or our body position is even the slightest difference, he'll know that and he'll ask you about it. Cares a ton, and that's what I love about him.
Coach Walsh is such a dedicated person who cares about the game so much. He makes everyone on our team work so much harder.
Well, you always push me to do my best in school and sports and to better myself as an individual. You're my dad, not only my dad, but my coach, and you mean a lot to me.
Coach Walsh, to me, he's a really fun guy. You can have the funnest times with him and all that, but once you have to get down to business, he's really serious.
Coach Walsh is a really good coach because he cares about us way more than any other coach ever would. He's always there for us, especially when I hurt my knee, asking me how I was, what could I do, what I couldn't do, always checking in on me, making me feel better.
Coach Walsh is just so full of passion for everything that he does, and he brings absolutely 100% everything he has to every single game, but it's just infectious, and we play so much better just because he's electric on the sideline.
Coach Walsh has always been like a role model to me. Even though he scares me, he pushes me to do my best.
To me, Coach Walsh is one of the most dedicated coaches I've ever had for any sport. Whether we were winning or losing, he was always on the sidelines, incredibly focused on every player, and he was always ready to give people encouraging remarks and things that they can improve upon.
Walsh is the most passionate coach I've ever had. He probably cared about the game more than like most of us on the team. These packets of their best players, and they had like what they were good at and how we could beat those players individually and their whole team. And he always told us how we like stayed up every night worried about the game, like thinking what we could do to beat them, and that helped us get as far as we did both this year and last year.
Coach Walsh is always really supportive, and he believes in us even when we're doing good and when we're doing bad, and he's always really hardworking and dedicated to our team.
He has really influenced me throughout the past couple years I've been on his team. He has taught me a lot on and off the field.
Coach Walsh is a very dedicated coach to his team. He's really supportive. You can pretty much talk to him about anything, and he'll push you because he believes that you can do more.
Walsh means a lot to me because he believed in me more than I did in myself sometimes, and he always expected a lot out of me, and it pushed me to be a better player and athlete and a teammate.
What's your favorite memory?
Probably first road run. We were on a road run and
Singing on our road runs. My favorite memory is going on road runs with him.
All the road runs.
Road runs.
on a road run.
And when we go on road runs.
And singing on road runs.
I find it so funny, like when he grabs the balls out of his car and he starts putting them down on the turf. Oh crap! Like, is today gonna be a good day? Are we gonna run? Like, but it always made us laugh.
Him always singing on the bus. He came up with cheers. One practice, I was bringing the ball in, and I get it in, and I do a little dance, and he's at the other end of the field being a goalie, because he always was, and he's like, oh, you think you're so good, or you got your dance moves, and then he just, out of nowhere, just jumped on the ground and started break dancing. And
Probably when he showed up to practice and he was rapping the Nicki Minaj part of Break It Up. Just in general, coming to practice all the time. Whenever we had fun, it was because of him for the most part.
My favorite memory of Coach Walsh, we won states. We saw this back on the films, and he points up to the sky. He was really happy.
He started breakdancing in practice, or after we won states, and to see how happy he was.
My favorite memory of Coach Walsh yelled, "Hurry up, slugs," and we all thought he said something else.
My favorite memory of Coach is probably him singing "Take Me to Church" every time I did anything in practice.
My favorite memory of Walsh was when he would always dance on the field to distract me from me not being able to breathe running down the street.
My favorite memory of Coach is rewatching our state game and just seeing how emotionally he was after a game. It just kind of showed how much he cares about our team. He was crying and looked at the sky, so that was a good moment.
And last year at States, he came in to hug me and he was just like, "Good job, kid." It was really exciting to see him that happy, and I was just glad that I could do that for him.
My favorite memory is playing soccer with my sister and winning states.
I just love how he would always come to practice with a positive attitude and always be singing a different song, and then it'd be stuck in our heads for the rest of the day. One time we were scrimmaging on the field, and he told me, he kept going on sidelines going, "Avli, don't mess up," and then I fell.
Him believing in me to be brought up my 7th grade year.
Well, I like the nicknames he gave us. His break dancing, that I don't think that can be beat.
When he would dance on the field, he always tried his hardest to make practice more fun.
My favorite memory would have to be the first kind of road trip we took to Middletown.
My favorite memory of Walsh is when me and Sophie were down on the opposite end of the field and she was dancing around. Walsh screamed over and said, "Want to see my dance?" and started breakdancing on the field.
See you at a soccer heading down the strip.